What's up, guys? Chris over here at Cover 7. We got to talk about my Huskers. We got Michigan traveling on the road, getting 2.5 points currently at Nebraska, over under set to 45.5. Let's talk about Michigan here real quick. 2-1, right? Beat New Mexico week 1. Big loss to OU, 24-13. That was a hell of a football game. And then destroyed Central Michigan last week by about 60. Let's talk about Bryce Underwood here before I get into my Huskers. Look, kid was highly touted out of high school. He reminds me a ton of Jalen Milroe. I know I say that a lot on this channel. Big, physical, can run. Haven't really seen him throw the ball efficiently. The one good opponent that they played in OU, he looked lost, honestly. That's not me shitting on him. He looked like a true freshman. I mean, that's what you expect. Dylan Raiola on the other side did that against Indiana last year. Looked like a true freshman. Not that I don't think Bryce Underwood is good. He may be, but he's young yet. He's growing. At this point, he's played a couple of games. I do think he'll improve on the year. But, that's a growth thing. Against Nebraska's defensive front, we'll see how that matches up in this game as well. But how's he going to handle the crowd? Nebraska crowd should be loud, should be pretty hostile there. Now, the big issue in this game for me, if you're Michigan, you're all about it. It's Justice Haynes, man. I love this kid. I thought he was really good at Bama. I was actually kind of surprised he transferred, but I know they had Jam Miller as well. This dude's pretty good, man. In the OU game, the real competition that Michigan's played so far, and I do believe OU under Venables has got a pretty damn good defense. He played pretty well. He was really the only offense in that game for Michigan. Had that 70-yard run. I think it was to start the second half. Super physical. Got a lot of speed. I think he's one of the more underrated backs in the country. I've been talking about this kid a lot, even in the offseason. I think he was a huge addition here to Michigan. It'll be interesting to see how he plays in this one. Now, on defense real quick for the Wolverines, I still think Michigan's got a top 25 defense, man. It just seems like a majority of my lifetime, Michigan has just always been great on defense. They always put out tons and tons of NFL talent. I don't see this defense being much different. As far as you guys really want to dig into scores, which I don't try to look too much into it when you play teams like New Mexico or Central Michigan. I know they gave up some points against New Mexico, but it was week 1. I mean, who really cares at that point? They won the football game. They did give up 17 in that game. But against OU, and you guys, I don't know how much you guys pay attention to Oklahoma, but John Mateer, he's probably my favorite player in the country. That guy puts up video game numbers. Honestly, the Heisman front runner outside of maybe Carson Beck right now. I know it's really early and I'm not handing out Heismans. I thought Michigan did a decent job against him. I mean, I know they gave up some points and they gave up some yards, but 24 points at the end of the world. So I do think Michigan's got a solid defense, and I do think they'll continue to improve on the year. Now, just to throw a couple stats at here real quickly, Michigan's defense ranks 33rd in total defense, 43rd against the pass, 25 against the run. Let's talk about my Huskers here before I break it down and give you my opinion. Beat Cincinnati week 1. Now, 20-17. I was not impressed. If you guys follow the channel, you'll know that. Went out and destroyed 2 can of peas the past 2 weeks. Now, I'm not talking about those 2 games. There's only 2 things I care about. Did your second and third stringers get reps? And hopefully nobody got hurt. I don't care about the score. Don't care if you would have won 20-3 or you win 79-0. I don't give a shit. I think people look way too into these games where you play no-name teams. I don't care. It doesn't really mean anything. You can debate me down in the comments if you want to. Offensively, look, this is crazy. Statistically, they look God tier. I get it. I think we're 10th in total offense. We are number 1 in the country right now in passing offense. I put no stock in that. Don't care. Has Raiola looked good? Yeah. But the major game that they played, and I did this with Michigan just 5 minutes ago, I talked about how they played OU, real competition. We did play a Power 4 opponent in Cincinnati week 1. I know that was a couple weeks ago. I'd like to think that we have gotten better. Same can be said about Michigan here for Nebraska. Look, I didn't think Raiola played that well. I know he completed 80% of his passes. Everything was short. I know Cincinnati was trying to keep everything in front of him. But there's some question marks with Dylan Raiola for me, and there has been since he's been here. I'm not trying to shit on the kid, but it's more, does he have arm strength? Can he layer a ball in there? How's the deep ball look? I feel like we don't take a lot of shots deep. I don't know. I think in this game against Michigan's defense, you're going to find out what Dylan Raiola really is. This will be like his 16th or 17th start now. He's not a freshman anymore. I'd like to think he's improved. We're going to find out, and I'll leave it at that. Now, outside on the wide receiver core for Nebraska, I think they're some of the best in the Big Ten. I do believe Nebraska's top five has a top five wide receiver core in the Big Ten. I do. I really love Isaiah Hunter. Dane Key is a stud. You guys remember Barney last year. He was our leading receiver. They've all looked really good. I think they got good hands. You got a guy like Hunter and take the top off. Key's your possession receiver. Barney's quick, slot guy. He's got all the weapons. Raul's got all the weapons here. Let's talk about Emmett Johnson real quickly. I like Emmett Johnson. He's averaging 6.6 yards per carry, which is pretty damn good. Say what you will about the defense the past couple weeks. Don't care. He's got 4 touchdowns on the year. Emmett played quite a bit last year. I think he's a good back. He's definitely our lead back here for the Huskers. So we're going to see how he can run the ball against this Michigan front, and I'll get to that here in a minute. Now, defensively for the Huskers, and I'm not even going to talk so much about the defense here. It's the lines of scrimmage on both sides of the ball for Nebraska I have major concerns with. I hope I'm wrong, but I truly have some questions about this front four on defense. I'm not impressed so far. Yes, we beat the shit out of 2 cans of corn. Great. But in the Cincinnati game, I watched Cincinnati push us around in the second half, run for over 200 yards. Quarterback had over 100. Michigan's got Bryce Underwood. He's a better runner. They got a better running back. I'm telling you, Haynes is no pushover here. And that O-line for Michigan is massive. Got a lot of NFL talent up front. They do each and every year. Are we physical enough up front? Offensively for the Huskers on the line, same thing. Can we create holes in this game for Emmett Johnson to run through? Because if we don't, guys, and I'm being 100% honest here, and I'm not trying to sugarcoat it or be a sunshine pumper here, if they don't, we become one-dimensional. This game is over. I can promise you that. As good as Dylan Raiola has played, or what maybe you think his ceiling is, I don't care how good you are against a Michigan defense. If you're one-dimensional, you will get beat. It is what it is. Oklahoma was able to run the football with Mateer at quarterback and throw the ball and make some big plays in the air. That's what won that game. It was the explosive plays. Nebraska needs, in my opinion, 2 to 3 explosive plays in this game to win this game and keep them in it. I believe that. Now, how I'm betting this game, look, this is how it plays out. And guys, I want to say this before. I'm going to take a drink of water before I say this. I'm not shitting on my Huskers here, but I'm probably the most realistic fan or Husker fan you're going to find on the internet or doing a YouTube channel. There's nothing more than I want Nebraska to be relevant again, okay? Believe me. Here's my problem with this game. Nebraska is at home. That's a huge advantage, I think. But look at the recent trends here. Nebraska has lost the last 4 times they've played Michigan, okay? And I know you're talking about years past. We're talking about Scott Frost, Mike Riley, that kind of shit. I get it. I understand it. Combined score, you may ask, of those 4 games. Nebraska 49, Michigan 167. For whatever reason, they have our number, just like Iowa has had our number of late, or pretty much the majority we've been in the Big Ten, essentially. I think we have 3 wins against Iowa in almost 20 years, but whatever. I'm a little concerned here that they hold an edge in that regard. They have the entire time. Now, that can be changed, absolutely. Also, another trend here. Nebraska against ranked opponents. I bring this up all the time. It is embarrassing for me to say this, and I feel like a broken record. The last time we beat a ranked opponent was 2016, guys. That is hard to fathom. 2016, almost 10 years ago. That was Oregon. They were rated 22nd, I think. I think we beat them like 35 to 31 or 35 to 32. But yeah, we're going almost on 10 years. This streak, this trend needs to stop. We need to show up in a big game here. We have to. By the way, Michigan is ranked, if you were wondering. How did I bet this? How do I actually see this playing out? It pains me to say this, but I think Nebraska drops one here. Until I see Nebraska get up and play a full game against a ranked opponent, I'll believe it. I'd be dumb to think otherwise. Now, do I have faith? Do I think Nebraska can win this game? They can win this game. But like I said, it comes down to the physicality aspect to me. the lines of scrimmage, guys. Football is a very simple game. It's been played for over 100 years. 99.9% of the time, the team that is more physical wins the game, and that starts up front, both lines of scrimmage. And I need a couple explosive plays if you want to keep yourself in this one. I really do. If Nebraska, let's say they just flat across the board play physical and Michigan plays physical, Nebraska needs a couple explosives then. They're going to need a couple of those. Whether that's Dane Key with a big-time catch, whether that's Dylan Raiola making a big run on a 3rd and 7, and we get a field goal, something like that. Special teams play, which our special teams is much more improved this year. But in order for me to bet Nebraska and to have 100% faith in this, I need to see it first, and they need to come out there and play physical football. It's a bottom line. It's simple as that. Do I think they can? I think they can, but it's got to start with Rule. It's got to start with those coaches this week. It's got to start up front. We got to be able to run the football, guys. I know that sounds like a lot, and I just rambled on for 5 minutes here, but that's what it comes down to. It really does. If we become one-dimensional and we have to throw the ball and Dylan's got to throw it 45, 50 times this game, we're not going to win. I can almost guarantee you that. I've watched enough football in my lifetime, and I watch a ton, like I said, I watch a ton of football, NFL, college. Look, you're one-dimensional makes it easy for the defense, dude. They'll tee off on him. I don't care how good your O-line is. You can't hold up forever. You're going to throw a bad pass. It's going to happen. I don't expect Dylan Raiola to play perfect in this game, but he's going to have one of his better games that he's ever played here as a Nebraskan. I truly believe that. So with that said, I actually bet the Michigan money line. I got it really, really early last night. I got it at minus 115. Now I think the line moved too, obviously, to minus 2.5 here. I think it was, at that point, it was like -1, so I just jumped on the Michigan money line. Now that's crept up. I do think you'll see this creep up to 3, maybe even higher. I think throughout the week, a lot of people are going to jump on Michigan's back here. One, they did lose to a very good Oklahoma team, by the way. They did. Oklahoma's a good football team this year, believe it or not. Completely different from the one they've had the previous 4 or 5 seasons there. So Michigan played tough in that. I mean, they did look pretty bad offensively outside of the running back and Haynes. But Bryce Underwood, I expect him to come out here and play a little bit better. But we'll see. Like I said, this is why we bet. This is why we give predictions. I'm not 100% right. I can promise you that. But I hope, honestly, and I know I'm kind of ranting as a Husker fan, I really need this game for Nebraska. And I think Nebraska fans need this game. I would love to knock off Michigan at home and move on with the season here. We need to play well in this one, and we need a W. So with that being said, guys, I appreciate it if you listened to all that. But that's my bet this week on the Michigan-Nebraska game. I hope to God I'm wrong. I really do. This will be the happiest couple $100 I've dropped on a game that I lost. So I'll say that. With that being said, guys, stick around, though. I'm going to have a couple more videos coming this week as far as college football. Probably drop a couple best bets in the NFL as well. Had a pretty good Sunday yesterday in NFL. It didn't end the best. I took the Vikings last night. God, what a terrible... God, they suck. But we'll see what tonight brings. We got the Bucks taking on the Texans, and then we got the Raiders and Chargers on the late game. So with that being said, guys, appreciate all the support. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not, and give this a thumbs up once, man. Help a brother out over here. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.